Bodies
Send a
be
link.
falling from the sky or whatever.
Drop a link to that song that you had in the intro.
Yeah, I just dropped the link to the song.
All right.
Yeah, I think
What?
Karen B has like a playlist of Delano's songs or something. She re-uploaded them.
Yo, all right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here and for tuning in to the after show of the general relativity debate between Alan and MC Toon. They were debating the correctness of the general relativity theory, and I think it was a bit one-sided in that I'm not the only person that said that. The poll said that. And I would say just from even just trying to be objectively looking at it from a debate perspective, one person brought a lot of information. The other person brought some questions that were trying to be gotcha questions that were not directly well, we'll get into it. In any case, thank you for being here. And Alan, thank you for going out there and educating all of us so much about general relativity.
Violently or whatever.
Dude, my absolute pleasure, dude. Growing up as a young lad, I used to be a relativist that didn't understand a gosh darn thing. But I was told that Einstein was the smartest man in the land and that his theories told us how the universe works. And then I grew up and started reading about it, and I found out that there was a giant deception uncovered regarding how light functions and how bodies in the sky move. And it all seems to be tailored around a certain coordinate system that's always referenced. So, it's been fun going through all that and dissecting it and making it digestible and going through these so-called proofs that are touted as mutually exclusive to a theory that provides no new physical insights to reality and just is a patch to a previous explanation that was failing because, all of these theories and motions, all these theories are dependent on motions, right? So you have to have some velocity somewhere. So in 1887, when people tried to start measuring the velocity to confirm the correctness of their model that they believed in, they found that the Earth was stationary AF. And that was a huge problem for them because all these lads grew up thinking that the Earth was just sailing through an empty vacuum, nothing, maybe medium, who knows? But they all were committed to the idea that the Earth was in motion and that the dynamic cause of this was, at the time, they thought mass attracting mass. When they didn't get the measurements that they needed, they were like, well, that's a rap skis for that. How can we confuse the hell out of everyone? And this was right around the time when absolute differential calculus was popping off. So they all hopped on board that and started transforming to infinity. And now we find ourselves picking up the pieces.
Wow.
All this when you were a child.
Dude, what a childhood you lived, bro.
Dude, what happened? I blacked out, honestly. I don't even know what I said. But I think that's a pretty accurate recap of history. And yeah, the theory is DS. And that's how easy it is to expose it. You just have to read the history of it and find out that nobody knew what they were doing or what they were measuring. And they were just conforming equations to reality to maintain a stranglehold, a monopoly, if you will, on your mind and how you see the heavens. Those things in the sky that are for you that are all apparent to the person, those are for you, and they've monopolized your thought and how you conceptualize them. Because as we went over in the debate, the math that they're attributing for the displacement for the things that they talk about in the sky, they have no causal mechanisms. They just have ratios for things. Stone, what do we know about ratios?
I don't know, but I think it's about time somebody gave Alan his $200. He's around that end of the board there, so fork it over. Little Monopoly joke, I guess you guys missed it.
Oh, dude, thank you. Yeah, I totally was like, I don't know what's happening.
Which ratio were you talking about there?
Well, just any. When you start ratioing things to build a model off of it, you can literally just as long as you can get back to that original ratio of your description, you can build, an entire role play off of it to describe interactions on subatomic or on the or on the macro level.
Or the sun moon visual perspective. Any of them. Yes.
Any distance, any mass, all the way through to like whatever infinity you want to.
Even parallax.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's what I was going to talk about that a little bit too. Well, it wasn't really relevant, but I did write a note for it because I was like, this dude invoked a parallax data set that falsifies his model.
Oh, the negative
For-
parallax
for-
data
for-
set?
for-
Oh, man.
Yeah, for accuracy. He's like, dude, it's so accurate. It tells us exactly where they are. Oh, it tells you they went in the wrong direction, dog. Unlucky. I totally forgot to throw that in there.
He referenced the Gaia set as like a proof for him or whatever?
So not the Gaia one, but the other one, and it's the same thing. It's just a more refined version. Yeah.
Oh,
Or,
that would've been
Hermes
good. Well,
set or
whatever.
something like that, or Hipparchus or Hermaphrodite, one of those things.
Hipparchus or hermaphrodite. Yeah, those are the ones.
Yeah. Hipparchusite, whatever.
He didn't bring anything that we didn't expect. That's for
He
sure.
brought the one thing that you thought he would have to, and that's it?
Yup.
Or-
So it seemed like.
Yeah, well, it's all abstractness from the sky, reified, to infinity, right? So, like the lab evidence that he put forward, not realizing how an atomic clock works, it's literally the same reification. Like, this is how they dupe people, right? You don't know how the technology works, and they say that this piece of technology verifies all these other abstract equations, and you're like, okay, bet. and the technology doesn't even work that way.
It's like, how much
Right.
you know about lab phrase
He's like,
relativity?
My
Nothing.
dude literally thought it was measuring photons. Like, it was like, dude, what?
Well, then it does all
Like
that. Yep.
counting them like
It's
marbles.
counting them, bro. There's a little guy in there, a little lad, right? We call him Atomic Lad. He sits in the atomic clock and he counts photons.
He's got an
as they go by.
abacus.
Captain Adams in there, bro.
Dude,
That's, they identify as a fairy, bro. It's not nice.
Did there a time he tried to say awesome but said Austin? Or was that different? Oh, that was here.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I just can't believe you haven't met Dr. Quantum, bro. Have you not met Dr. Quantum? Obviously, he's able to count photons.
Oh yeah, him and Dr.
this-
DS got together and wrote a paper.
yes.
Yeah,
I
that
really
was-
did love when Toon tried to hold you to the same evidence standard, using his completely unfalsifiable garbage against your quotes about atomic clock function. That was entertainment.
Dude,
Thank
I
you.
started to make
I-
a super chat about that, and I'm like, this is like he'll hand wave my super chat, but my super chat, Alan, it was, am I tripping or did I just hear Alan point out that the prerequisite assumptions for Toon's unverifiable claim have been directly falsified in a lab, and then Toon says you're hand wave dismissing it in the process of him hand wave dismissing
You
Alan's
didn't address it at
reputation.
all, yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's no way I'm going to get an honest response to that complex of a super chat.
We all saw that. Crazy.
Dude, that was wild, bro. I'm like, dude, this guy, he's full on spiraling at this point. He's just like, oh, fine, then I'm going to dismiss everything you say then.
Well, he had nothing. He could just like smirk and hope that people thought that that was confidence and didn't understand anything. That was the whole goal. Like, he's like, I got nothing. So
I think the bigger issue there is that the guy talking in Toon's ear also had nothing. So yeah, that's a systemic problem.
but
That's funny.
who talks in his ear? Because he talks in everyone's ear. So I don't know how that works.
I loved
That's
after
fucking
Who
you,
watches The Watchmen, right?
you did like your first.
Homie hit Alt F4 during that debate, bro.
So,
We've seen that happen before.
when we look into the quantum realm, we find out that Alan actually beat two people there and not just one.
Ooh, facts.
The,
At
the
least
guy in
two.
his ear.
At least-
Is that a length
At least
contraction?
two. Yeah.
That's
Dude,
the quantum realm.
That was speaking of that. There was one time where Alan did like I think it was after his opener, and then he poses his question. It was like super deep, super like way over Toon's head, honestly. And then passes over to MC Toon. MC Toon looks like he's just totally lost. He clicks around on his screen for like a minute and a half, and then talks for like 4 minutes.
Dude, his opener. How much time do I have? All of it. Okay.
Oh, dude,
You still have 6
Dude,
minutes to go, dude.
I didn't even have another opener, but like it turned out to be the interferometry was on the table, so I was like, all right, I'm pulling in, boys.
I'll just do that. That's
Dude, I
great.
didn't even know that was like I didn't have anything beyond what I opened up with.
A free 12-minute rebuttal whenever you want to use it. Like, what the fuck is this? A Super Saiyan interjection? Cool.
I was like, sure, I'll take
It
one
was
of these.
priceless.
I'll take one.
6.5 minutes left on the
Power
clock.
up
Just
or
a
whatever.
priceless look on Toon's face. It's like, oh, I forgot to bring the rest of my homework. Ugh.
Yeah, like, oh, I didn't do anything else. Crap, is there more? Uh-oh.
I'm getting a D for sure.
Yeah, and just
Then
to
he-
be like real like precise about that, like that was honestly kind of frustrating as a viewer, right? Like for Alan to have put so much effort and time into, formulating his questions and researching specifically for this debate, and to pose a very pointed, specific question to MC Toon, or like to, and like bring a bunch of content, and then for MC Toon to divert to trying to say that Alan doesn't know how an interferometer works, or just like trying to hit him with some gotcha question. It was just like, whoa, like this is two different debates. Like this is not even, you're not even in the same debate as Alan right now. Like it was
So obvious
His
at that point.
question was, what is frequency? At
Yeah,
one point.
that was
That's
it.
when, oh my God.
Oof.
Oh,
That
it's
was
a
it.
photon, so we're just
Dude,
counting photons.
And he interrupted you for it. Like, dude, he interrupted you to
And I'm
gaslight
with
you
you.
numerous times, and it didn't work, thank goodness. But yeah.
I'm with you, Alan. When he said we were counting photons, he showed how dumb he was. We seen his whole card.
Like you're
for
counting
sure.
photons.
Well, he kept trying to pull
I'm
the
not.
whole standard of evidence thing, which obviously
Yeah.
we can demonstrate things here. Why do I have to like believe stuff that no one's ever seen in person or ever functioned with or used, applied?
Yeah, dude, so how come I have to explain something that no one's
Well-
ever seen or justified? It's like, yeah, that sounds retarded when I say it out loud. or whatever.
If this is the best defender of the globe that they have, they
It's
are
over.
in really bad trouble.
He is 100% that. So
Really
It's
bad
been a-
trouble.
it's
I
Let's
see
been a
think-
good-
ratio being like very useful soon.
been a
Like
good
Twitter,
day
if
for
Twitter
flat
doesn't
Earth.
like totally just fuck off flat Earth, or like Elon just says no more of this,
Yo, watch the obscenities. We're live.
Good day for flat Earth.
True.
it's gonna be a good week for flat Earth, man.
I think we
Whi-
should just send him
which
some
it hit
flowers and
Infowars.
candy, give him a hug, and say, "Welcome home, bro."
Dude, we should count the bodies
It's
that'll be
flat,
left after this week.
Alan bodied McToons. I seen Crypto get 3 rage quits today. I swear one guy was beating the shit out of his keyboard.
Nice.
It's been a good
Silent.
day.
Silent score for crypto is all.
Oh yeah, I'm tailing. I'm tailing it
Yeah.
up.
My boy just said McToon conflated Einstein's in an Einstein circle with an atomic clock and experimental effect with an experimental apparatus, dude.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that was so. Yeah, like I think he realized he might have realized he didn't know what he was. Well, yeah, it definitely seemed like he realized he didn't know what he was talking about. He brought up the Einstein circles, and literally, you seem to understand the concept. I'd never even heard of it, honestly.
The Einstein cross.
Yeah,
Yeah, I never heard of the cross, but everything's derived off of the what do you call it? The Einstein ring, right? So the deflection angle is like a subset of the prediction based off of like an actual ring, like a completion of a ring. So I knew it had to be something like with that. So I was like, okay, it's some sort of circle.
he was
Yeah,
just
I-
relying on you being like, "Oh, I don't know
Yeah.
Einstein cross," and then like him getting a W. He wasn't relying. He
Yeah.
wasn't ready for you to be like, "Oh, I know how this works." Yeah, the Einstein ring. Oh yeah, so what's the Einstein cross then? He was like,
Yeah, I was like, oh, I wasn't prepared for a follow up
Dude.
or whatever.
So has any man seen it, or is it just something you're abstracting in the sky or whatever?
That's what I like.
From the Deep
That was
Space Network.
awesome.
So I have to explain what? The thing that no one's seen? No.
Yeah, so you want me to explain something no one's seen? All right, well, I can't.
You drive
But
a
isn't
hard
it
bargain.
so telling? It's so telling how, like, when you can lay out specific examples of experimentation that delineate your point so clearly, and the only thing at the end of the debate that you're left with on his side is to misrepresent the actual experimentation as if it supports his position and not yours. So it's just a giant gaslight. Like that's so telling, bro.
That's
And
what the
everybody in the
mainstream
audience
did.
heard it.
Take him what they did to Dayton Miller, dude, right? Just pretend that he's not there until he dies or whatever. Fine.
Yeah, he tried to steel man your entire concept or argument being based on a friendship.
No, he just restated the mainstream. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew as soon as I knew as soon as I could get interferometry involved, like it was over. And a couple of months ago, I was thinking about this pound replica thing. You know, I've been kind of teetering around with it, and then the vertical interferometer lads, and I was like, wait a minute, it's just evidence for my argument, so,
right? Don't you love
mutually exclusive, if you will, and I will. So I did.
that? Your evidence? No. This is mine and mine
Oh,
alone.
no, you didn't.
This works only for me now. Sorry.
Oh, does your theory predict the speed of light gets faster as it moves away from the Earth? That's weird.
We should get space time is fake and gay, and then relativism is fake and gay.
To be fair, he had a really hard thing to defend. It's not real, and it's.
It's like the virtual photon or whatever. Well, why would you want to defend that?
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, could you? Like, if your
What's
life
that?
depended on it, could you defend it if your life depended on it?
Yeah, I would just lie about the Compton scattering. I would
Yeah,
just do what Franco does.
Exactly. Repeat that.
I would just pretend like I
every
haven't
time.
heard the argument. I already know, and I would go, "This is the mutually exclusive
Dude.
proof," and I would put my middle finger up in everyone's face while I'm doing it.
And call them. Yeah, exactly.
And then I would go, "I can't hear you. Are you trying to rebut me? There's a barrier here. Can't hear you. I couldn't hear you over the
insane.
relativity."
Even when Witsit was steel manning the globe, and we were doing he was like steel manning it in like a mock debate on Schooling Globers that one time. He just immediately started gaslighting. He was just
you felt it. You were like, ooh, gross. Hey,
it's funny
like
how
that.
it was just like, wow, that's what you have to do to defend the globe. You just have to try and make the other person feel stupid because
aggressively gaslight preemptively.
Yo.
Yeah, wow.
Max, what are those? We care about globularity around here, boy.
Funny because they can't even pronounce that word. I don't know
I
it's
actually
them.
prefer wobularity to globularity.
So I mean, I'll just say after what happened, I don't know, Alan. I kind of might believe in gravitational redshift and gravitational lensing now.
Yeah, I kind of think there's a photon lad in the atomic clock counting billiard balls.
just BBs shooting through it like it counted.
Logical.
Is there like an abacus?
Like,
Or just
have
use,
you ever seen Harry Potter where like their whole thing is to like throw a ball through a ring? There's like a little lad that's just like counting balls as they go through a ring.
Dude,
I think that's how he
Quidditch?
thinks
it
works.
Wow.
They phone each other and they're like, "Yo, how many rings have you counted?" And the other guy's like, "I've got 3,682,000." Oh shit, I got 3,786,000.
Oh, I lost count. Yeah.
Shit,
You're both
We're out
wrong.
of
You're
sync.
both wrong. You're both
Damn, I was
wrong.
gonna jump into Matters Now live after debate show, but it doesn't exist.
Yo, I would love to know
got
what
faded.
McToon actually
Damn.
I wouldn't.
actually thinks about not what he defends as
Right,
like
stop.
as a dishonest person, but what he genuinely actually thinks is causing these frequency shifts in these clocks.
He honestly doesn't care.
Whatever is in
you-
the text.
Yeah, whatever the Google says, and Google says Einstein's gravitational field. So if you take
Whatever
mass
makes him look
and then put it in the old abstraction, and then give it imaginary vectors, you can. That's where it lives. That's what does it.
So, Alan,
In
that's what I said the
ratio.
entire time from the beginning. I said all this fool knows is the abstract. And every time you started to destroy his argument and expound upon something, he would just regurgitate an abstract. He didn't know anything. He wasn't
Well, he
prepared
doesn't.
in the least
Well,
bit.
in his defense,
Felt
this
it
is
in
his
his heart.
income, and he has to feed the family.
I don't
it his
care what
income?
his income is.
It's his income. It's 5 TFE.
Yeah,
but it's hard to-
Oh, I was like, I don't know.
No, so he's just on the anti-flat Earth grip then.
It's his personal vendetta, and he thinks he's like cleansing the world. Yeah. that's
He
his
gets a
thing.
paycheck.
But
Yeah,
when
but
you
he
bring
feels
up when you bring up that, if you want to invoke this imaginary retarded gravitational vector to account for real physical frequency shifts in light, then you got the wrong direction going on it, buddy. You're getting stronger gravity the further from Earth. Like to see that and just I still believe it. Like, I mean, bro, there's no way you still believe that. You're just saying that. What's happening in your brain right now, bro? I want to see what's going on inside.
I think you'd be disappointed.
No,
man,
you don't.
To be honest, yeah.
I know why he smirks. He's looking at all them super chats. Well, I'm getting paid.
No, he's smirking because that's the only thing he can do to give the people confidence who's watching him, so they think that they're still in control or whatever, or that hasn't been destroyed.
I'd
That smirk is everything.
if I was losing a debate but still making money on it.
I mean,
Just shut up and smirk at me while I talk.
Like, dude, he forgot to smirk until 3/4 of the way through, though. So it's like, oh,
No, that was
you lost the
hilarious,
debate.
dude.
That's like what all you had to do was smirk. You didn't even do that. It's over, dude. Damn.
Dog.
Nice.
He really.
Dude, I gotta go back and do a dog count or whatever on it.
Yeah, you hit him with like 7. We all got worried. We were like, oh,
I
what's
got
coming
70
next, dude? I
dogs
haven't
to
heard
your
this many.
0 dogs. I
He
win.
said, dog, they're not counting photons, but that's not what's happening.
It's like, how many dogs was that? 4, 7? Oh, God, something big's coming.
I don't think anyone's ever sent dog that many times while yelling about photons.
Hey, dude,
gotta
Alan looked
contact Guinness,
insulted when he said we're counting photons. Alan looked insulted. He said, hold on, let me think about this for a minute before the dog came. And then he was like,
Oh,
dog,
dog. Shut the fuck up and sit down or whatever.
I had to like
counting them?
I had to figure out where he went wrong.
Counting
So like so yeah, when he's like we're counting it to keep time, like I had to like what?
Wait,
You think it's doing what now?
Right.
Yeah. That's what they tell him it's doing, right?
I mean, dude, unfortunately for him, that is what they tell him it's doing.
All right. So like,
Unfortunately.
he did a good job.
Where's
Embodied
the
the
single
retarded
photon
position.
detector?
You caught him on the absolute space too. That was funny. It almost turned into the old I Can Science That debate for a minute there.
Yeah.
Dude, I was literally in the middle of that. Sorry to cut you off. I was about to go, oh yeah, if you guys want to see this play out in real time, you can watch me and I Can Science That go over it with Toby in great detail. And then we all know how that turned out. You can watch the follow-up videos where he can't quite seem to get it.
But it to nothingness or whatever.
Yeah, it was funny. Like I saw it on your face, just like, oh, here we go. Like you just you like literally looked so bored immediately.
Well,
just like
I said you could ride that dude down that one instead.
There's no refutation to it, and if they give it up, it's over. So when you reach that point, it's like, oh, now we have to thumb wrestle or whatever until one of us gets tired.
Right?
My position's superior to yours, but I can't. Like, if you don't understand it or refuse to acknowledge it, then I guess we're gonna hit this merry-go-round for a bit.
It was like 2 points, but it's like, oh, they can't do anything. They're deadlocked. They can't progress until he just, goddamn it. Yep. Like,
it was measuring the speed relative to the speed of light, like literally just straight up. And then he's like, it's relative. That was great. They're relative to each other.
To each other.
Oh, dude, relative to each other, and then also relative to itself. I was like,
heard that one before too.
Itself.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I should have called him on the relative to itself. I totally didn't process it.
You laughed at it.
But you're wrong. Yeah.
Oh, did I?
Of your retardedness, like.
Yeah, shit. Well, I should have called it out verbally. It would have been better.
Hey, you forget to do the fake and retarded thing or whatever. Should have said retarded 3 times.
I mean, bro, you automatically win when the man thinks that a little oven that's measuring a frequency is somehow a single photon detector. I mean, like that calculation right there alone.
Whoa.
Yeah, that showed his cards. For me, anyway.
What are you talking about? I don't have an easy nuke oven somewhere. What the?
No.
How you measure geometry with like different like
even if you
apparatus
did.
and underground.
I was looking for my baby nuke oven.
Baby nuke.
Oh, you got that?
Wow.
He was gonna make.
Or that BNO?
He was gonna
Yeah,
make
you know,
some
like
wax.
an easy bake, an
Well,
easy
yeah.
nuke oven.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about a baby atomic clock?
Yeah, we can cook our cookies and tell what time it is while we make our easy nuke brownies.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, the little baby single photon detector that somehow works on an abstraction of reality. It has nothing to do with physically measuring frequency.
Because it doesn't matter, you know what
Are
I mean?
we still after showing?
I couldn't believe he even said that, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm glad he did. It was free ammo. I wasn't even going to go into the photon because it's such a broad thing. You know, it's like it requires its own debate, really. But it was like, okay, well, if you're going to open the floodgate, 1 second. I just did a whole bunch of research on the photon.
Yeah, you just let him talk because he was saying everything he needed to say. Like, well, here, you're doing it for me.
You have activated my trap card.
Right. And then bam.
Well, I'd like to just say, you know, Alan challenged McToon or MC Toon to this debate via a YouTube comment. MC Toon was talking about, I want to say it was gravitational, or no, it was about interferometry that the original comment was about. And Alan challenged him to a debate about it. And MC Toon never responded, which, you know, maybe he didn't see it. But then MC Toon was there under that same YouTube comment. It was the video about Bob. and he was commenting under it again, under the exact same, replying to the same comment under the same YouTube video where Alan challenged him to a debate, but replying to somebody else. And so we had to say, hey, MC Toon, glad you're still here. What do you think about the debate? And then he said, oh, the debate, we'll have to talk about that. Or he never said anything. And then it was on Matters Now. At the very end of the stream, he looked guilty and said, Alan, we're going to have to talk about the debate. And then they scheduled the debate eventually. And then the debate, it got scheduled for a month out. And then shortly, a couple weeks into that lead up, the debate got pushed back about 3 more weeks. So I kind of thought maybe he was doing some research. That was my hope. But, scheduling conflicts arise, so maybe that's what happened. In any case, he had a lot of preparation time, and I can't say it really seemed to be, someone's hot micing. So, yeah, that's just kind of the context there. It was you, Battle Mod. Yeah, I don't know, maybe MC Toon, if you're listening, or if anyone relays this message to you, maybe you can do a rematch. Maybe you can do some studying and do a rematch.
You're going to study so great, so good. You're going to come back. You're going to win. I know you're going to win. You're a winner. You're going to pump him up.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to do that, let's be honest.
Yeah, I know.
Well, one thing's for certain, Alan did his research over 7 weeks.
Or like, yeah.
So it's 7 weeks to research, and you're getting
Way more than
bumped
that.
on main points on the subject. That doesn't look good for your research ability.
I mean, based on his performance tonight, Alan could have done this debate back in December and it wouldn't have mattered at all. So,
No, that's not true.
It's
Actually,
not
so
true. He's been sharpening, seems like.
I have such I had like a
Well-
I would have had like a nice fundamental basis to defecate everywhere, but for target specific precision defecation, I really literally stuff I was reading the yesterday, was meaningful because it's like you learn a bunch of stuff, but you don't fully understand all of it, and then you go back to it, and you're like, oh, well, now I can get this piece. You know what I'm saying? It's like as I was reviewing the material for this from stuff that I had had the baseline for, I was like, oh, this is even more significant now, right? So it was like one of those deals, right?
But it's
Yeah,
not
definitely.
like his argument changed at all from then or now, right? From what I can tell, he didn't evolve a single bit. He just did the same. Yeah.
Exactly. And if he were to do a rematch, and if they were to debate this topic again in another year or in 6 months or whatever, Alan would be 10 times more dangerous to debate in this topic, and MC Toon.
He would say the same thing again, dude. That's the
Maybe
only thing he
maybe
can
MC
say.
Toon will do some research after this one. Maybe
But,
he'll
like-
read that. Maybe he'll read some of those papers he brought.
It
Or
was
you know
like
what?
Super
I shouldn't
Saiyan
say that. I
3.
shouldn't be presumptuous. He probably.
Well, dude, it's not like he can make up his own answer to stuff. He can't just decide and research and find answers like we can. He has to go find the position, and if that's not there, then that's it. That's all you can
Bro,
do.
it was like Super Saiyan Blue Goku beating a small infant or something. It was just.
Yeah,
it was
I
that
didn't
sloppy.
get that impression. That did feel exactly that. Oh, it's weird,
It's
dude.
like ether wind. You can't have that.
Well, at one point, I was like, "Yeah, pick it back up and keep hitting them with it." Yeah, just go for it, bro. Whatever. It's like, damn.
It's like ether wind hides in a basement or whatever. Like, no.
Best way to find it is to hide from it, and then look down when it's up or whatever.
I got a question.
What up?
Did Toon bring anything besides that piece of paper with a circle and 2 lines on it?
Oh, dude, to explain the Sagnac effect or whatever. So he went over the observations from the lad that did gravitational lensing observations or whatever in his backyard with some degree of precision and accuracy or whatever. But that's about it. It was just and the atomic clock shift stuff, right? So just things that aren't mutually exclusive to his claim.
Did you see his opener? He was like 4 minutes and was like done or whatever.
Yeah,
That's all I got. So
because here's the thing with the lensing stuff, right? It's based off of the ratio of constants, right? So this could be anything, and then based off of the radius, right? So that's the thing that changes, right? So when they're like, oh, this little dot in the sky must be this radius. Like when they're doing their the radio interferometry readings and all that stuff, to make it all applicable and apply to that at that ratio, they're like, oh, this must mean this little dot is XYZ radius, right? So it's not even like a real thing, but because they have the ratio established, they can fit any observation to it. And then if there is an actual displacement or whatever, that ratio is always going to be maintained proportional to the story that they're telling.
Backwards compatible lore, the heliocentric.
Yeah. So like that's what this dude right here, I got it up on the screen. I think I'm screen sharing too on here. Oh no, I'm not. 1 second. Because this is what Silverstein was pointing out, and I call this guy Whitsitt's great grandfather. Because everyone at the Royal Society meeting was like, "Relativity's dope, dog." Woo! And this guy was like, "Hey guys, you want a high level breakdown of how it's not so dope? Well, if there's starlight displacement, then there has to be redshift proportional to the magnitude of the gravitational field that produced it, right?" And he breaks it all down right here, and he goes over the derivation for the displacement angle. So he's saying that, like, look, this is all dependent on space-time curvature, and if there's no space, and the space-time curvature would be substantiated by the gravitational field, which they would substantiate through the redshift, because mechanistically the frequency of light would change going through the field, right? It's going to be retarded because it's moving through like a medium, right? Essentially, is what they're invoking, right? And not just some abstract mathematical concept, but an actual, they're like filling in a medium right there, right? Like the density of the gravitational field, like how strong it is what they're invoking to change the frequency of light as a physical mechanism, right? So that's why this is super important. And this guy just totally dunks all over that. And he's like, look, dude, we had the lads, Charles St. John and John Evershade, taking observations for over a year and a half now, and they can use different transits of phenomena going across the sky. They can use different stellar observations. They have no astronomical observations that provide redshift that give agreement with Einstein's theory. And on top of that, many physicists and whatnot weren't even sure if Einstein's theory even predicted redshift in light because of the whole geodesic path and all that stuff. Some guy had to come up with something called a null geodesic to describe the path of light, so that they could even have their little billiard ball photon pretend to do what it's doing. And let's see here. There was also Toon was misappropriating the quantization of light as if it has mass. They don't calculate the displacement based off that or invoke mass of it, or even with the equivalent, or even through the and even through the E equals MC squared conversion. They don't do it that way. They just use the momentum of it as the quantization, but it has like no mass, but it's just following the curvature of space-time itself through the null geodesic. It's not actually responding in the way that he was attributing it to, like a mass attracting mass with the gravitational field. That's actually what Newton was proposing. And they obviously went with massless light because it can't have a mass. They can't even attribute it in reality to one, because if it did, it would break their physics, right? Because if the more energy you would need to travel at that speed, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, just to clear that up real quick, I think that's it, right? So if there's no curvature, then it can't explain orbital paths or anything like that, and this theory is just kinematic nonsense.
Dude.
Shout out to your boy, Dr. Silverstein, who later went on to do a bunch of math in support of relativity theory, even though he knew it was bunk. But the royal bros, once they get the memo, like, it be what it be. So he became the young calculator master for Einstein and gave the derivation for Michelson-Gale-Pearson, where he was trying to prove the equivalence principle with relativity, and he actually failed to do it there too, because in relativity theory, there's no preferred reference frame. They're all equally good. So the flat time space-time metric is just as good as the curved space-time metric. So these are two different descriptions here. And what he was trying to do was use the curved space-time metric to predict how much fringe displacement would be for the rotation of the Earth with respect to, the entire universe, essentially, right? Like the mass of the universe. And he couldn't do the calculations because he couldn't find symmetry because of the great disparity, because the Earth doesn't weigh that much compared to their conceptualization of the universe. So he had to use a flat space-time metric to give favorable conditions. And he goes over this in his paper, makes it in pretty plain English, right? It's not like I got my calculator out and figured all this out. He he left us a nice trail. Shout out to Silverstein, and breaks us down pretty eloquently. But anyway, that's a huge failure on the theory. The fact that that's not mathematically translatable means that these equations are full DS. Like this DS squared here, this isn't the opening to a coordinate system to describe the space-time interval. This is dog excrement.
Squared or whatever.
Squared. Thank you, Shane.
Damn, dude, that was the hell of a rant. Is anybody else still here? You guys all get floored or whatever?
No, that was excellent. It's great. It's hilarious because it's like Alan's been
It's
doing so
everything.
much preparation. He was like ready for a real debate, and he
Yeah,
didn't get to have a real
with
debate.
himself, whatever. It's fine. We got.
He's like, me, I got all this extra ammo laying around. I might as well start firing some of it.
I had to have it with myself.
It
You're like,
seemed
dude,
that
I'm
way.
ready for the debate, and you got all your stuff there, and then he's got like an MS Paint thing.
Shows up with like a box.
It's got a piece of paper with a circle drawn
Box
on
of crayons
Yup.
and a fucking camera.
it.
Except like a Kodiak
good times.
disposable or whatever.
Well,
Well, anyway, I'm glad you guys all enjoyed. I think if there's no further questions, or if anyone had any questions about the history or anything like that, or wanted to go into some more detail, we can definitely do that. But if there's nothing else, we should probably call it a Rapsies. What do you think?
Just
Toby
summed up
thinks?
everything. Yeah.
yeah. And just one last final call. Any final comments, concerns, questions?
Any Simpsons impressions or South Park impersonation anyone want to do or whatever?
All right, Shane, come on.
Yeah. Wait. What did Cartman think of the debate?
Lad?
pretty kick-ass. More to the Toon,
Nice.
I think Toon is pretty gay.
Well, with that.
Well, yeah. You know what? There we go. Everyone, take care. Actually, for real, tomorrow night. Over at Debatism yet again on Jeran's show. Thank you, Jeran, for hosting these awesome debates.
Yeah, wait, what did
What's up?
Nothing. I think I echoed.
Oh, gotcha. So yeah, tomorrow night on Debatism, Shane will be doing a debate at 6 p.m. Eastern time, so 3 hours earlier than tonight's. Will be Shane versus Ozian on the topic of tides, geocentric or heliocentric. So that will be pretty interesting. And then after that, at about 8:30, we'll be going live with an after show. Probably more like, probably about more like 8, more like 7:30 or 8. We'll go live with an after show, and we'll do kind of like what we did right here to recap that, cover that real quick. And then on Thursday night, we will be doing a reading of Drood, his optics book, and we're going to cover specifically the section about the Michelson-Morley experiment. So that will be Thursday night at 9 p.m. here on the Discord server, and we will stream that as well, like we always do. And then, of course, on Friday, tune in for Flat Earth Fridays with the Level Heads on X and Twitter Spaces, which Space Audits and Shane will also be streaming on ADL. And yeah, so tune into all that. Next week, geomagnetism on Tuesday. And yeah, everybody, if you haven't already, go watch the InfoWars debate from this morning between Austin and Harrison. And maybe go shout out InfoWars, say, hey, thanks for, bringing this topic up on your show, because no one else seems to want to talk about it these days. And if it becomes in their best business interest to cover this topic, then they will likely continue to do so. So,
We should exercise our cohesion online.
So yeah, everyone, take care, and thanks for being here.